If we take a look at this example here, you can see that when we turn DLSS 5 on this character, for example, it's gaining better contrast, better ambient occlusion, better contact shadows. I want you to pay attention to the ears, for example, how they gain subsurface scattering that's previously missing. Or look at the ambient occlusion between the top of the head and the piece of cloth on the top of his head. And the eyes gain better reflections. So as you can see, DLSS 5 is fully respecting the render frame and is just enhancing it. The first set of controls is actually the models itself. So DLSS 5 has different models. As you can see in this frame here, we have different models, model A, B, C. They have different output because they're trained on different parameters. When a developer picks a model, you're not locked into one. And the theme that you're going to see in all my presentation here is that you can sort of mix and match whatever you want. So picking a specific model does not lock your whole game, for example, into one. You can pick a model for a scene, a model for a different scene, a model for a cutscene. So you can pick whatever suits you. Then, some more global controls. We have structure intensity as well as tone intensity. So structure intensity is modulating the high frequency detail of the frame, and tone intensity is modulating the low frequency detail of the frame. A simpler way to think about it is structure intensity is basically adding things like better ambient occlusion, better subsurface scattering, and better reflections. Whereas tone intensity is a bit more expressive and is impacting the lighting, is enhancing the lighting. As you can see, if we move the tone slider, it's changing the colors because it's effectively changing the subsurface scattering and the lighting. So these are global controls that, again, enhance the whole frame. Now, I'm going to show you some controls that we have. There's two different levels of controls. There's controls that come from the engine side and controls that come from the model side. Because DLSS 5 is a smart model, it understands what's in the frame. So this, for example, is a model automasking. The model understands the character, the base character itself, and we can use the slider to control the intensity at which DLSS 5 is being applied just on the base character, as you can see. And this is coming entirely from the model side. I want to show you one more example of that. In this example, DLSS 5 is off on the environment, and we're just turning it on, again, just for the character, because the model understands which one is the character. So this is coming entirely from the model side, because the model understands the semantics of the scene. What I'm going to show you here is an example of the same model with different structure intensity. You can see that structure intensity 25% is obviously closer to the render frame. We have a midpoint, and then we have 95%, which is closer to the maximum uplift that DLSS can provide. So again, you can see that the developer has the option to pick whatever intensity they prefer for their final frame. And next, I'm going to show you sort of the opposite of that. I'm going to show you the same structure intensity, but with the different models. Again, different models give different outputs because of the training parameters being different. So in this example here, okay, let's say we want to, again, enhance the whole scene. But, okay, actually, we don't want to do that. Let's say we want to enhance specific items in the scene. These are controls that come from the engine side. Here we've masked, for instance, the pitcher, the grapes, and the bottles. And these are implemented on the engine side, and you can mask as you see fit. So you can have as many masks as you want. And as you can see, we can control the sliders independently. Each item can be adjusted in intensity and tone completely independently from each other. So you can completely art direct whatever item in the scene you basically want DLSS 5 to enhance or not enhance. And one more example from one of our scenes. Here, we have grouped the bottom part, as you can see, the whole cutting board, the props at the top. And again, completely masked, the rest of the environment is not being affected. Here we can control, you can see DLSS 5 is adding better reflections. As you can see, better contact shadows onto the ground. For the bottles, you'll see much better translucency in the bottle, better metal reflections. And those are just the elements that we're uplifting without touching the rest of the scene. Again, tone intensity, structure, everything can be tweaked as the developer sees fit. And last but not least, what I want to show you is how DLSS 5 can enhance the whole environment, in this case, the foliage scene. And as you can see, this scene looks very nice. It is a ray trace scene, but it still looks a little bit plasticky. And when we turn DLSS 5 on, as you can see, the plants come to life and they look really photoreal. That's because DLSS 5 is adding subsurface scattering. And that's something that, as you know, traditionally would be incredibly expensive to do in traditional rendering. And DLSS 5 is taking the image to the next level. Again, here we could control the intensity that we wish fully.